Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to format your paper using Microsoft Office 2003. First thing you want to do is open up a blank Word document, which I have done here. What we're going to do first is format our cover page. So I'm going to go up here and center justify, and I'm just going to press the enter key several times until I'm about 1/3 of the way down. Right there looks pretty good. I'm going to type out my name, which I'm the student in this case, so Scott student. Then I'm going to type in the professor's name, Professor Smith. I will type in the assignment name. In this case, I'm going to call this MLA Demo Assignment. And I'm going to type in the due date, not the date that you wrote it, but the due date. So let's say it's due on the 6th of September, so 6. And then the year. Notice I spelled out the month in its complete form. You do not abbreviate in this area. Now I'm going to hit enter. We are done with the cover page. This is all we need to do. Nothing more. What I want to do now is insert a page for the body of the paper. I'm going to go up here to the insert button. We're going to do break. In this case I'm going to choose next page. It'll drop down there, so now you can see that we have 2 pages. Before I go on and do anything else, I want to insert the pagination. This is where we put in the page number and also our last name. So I want to go to view, and I want to view headers and footers. And as you can see, it's pretty much set this up for both pages. If I were to type a header in here, it would show up on both pages. I really do not want any information on the cover page other than what's there. So we want to get rid of this same as previous. To do that, once you open up the view headers or footers, you should see this little toolbar show up. Here's a button that says link to previous. Let's deselect that. So now you can see that that same as previous is gone. What I want to do next is insert some page numbers. So I'll go to Insert, Page Numbers. We want right, and we're going to show number on first page. We want to go to Format, and we're going to start at 1. Hit OK, and OK. So you can see page 1. There's nothing up here, so that worked. Next thing we want to do is add in our last name. So I'm going to go align right. Now you can see that my cursor's there, and I'm going to type in my last name, which is student. Alright, that's all we need to do. And what I'm going to do now is just double left click below the dotted line there. So I'm just going to double left click. So you can see this is kind of gray. We can't really write into it or anything, and we do not have it up here on our cover page. This is good. Each time we start a new page, you will see student, and it will automatically write in the next page for you. Alright, so the next piece of formatting that we want to do is we want to add in our double space. I'm going to go to Format, Paragraph, and I'm going to select double space. I'm going to click OK. You can see that we're still center justified. That's good. I'm going to add in the title of my paper. And so I'm going to write MLA Demo. And I'm going to write fleas. That's the title of my paper. Very good. So I'm going to hit enter, and you can see that it's double spaced for us. I'm going to start writing my paper, so now I want a left justified. Go up here and click the left justified. Now our assignment tells us to write a heading. Now headings are real important, and I've written, actually in the other video on the 2010, I've given you some examples of why they are heading, but basically it helps us separate the papers into different sections. So if you take a look at your syllabus and imagine that without all those bold headings or those words, it would be kind of hard to figure out what is what. Now MLA does not have any official rules on headings, so I will pretty much tell you what to put in there for most of your papers. You'll need to do some on your own, but you kind of get it. You're going to start off with an introduction and then whatever parts of the body of the paper. You can leave these as they are. You can make them in bold. You can italicize them. You can center them. Left justify. There's really no hard and fast rules in MLA. So as long as it's noticeable, I would leave it. I would do one thing though for the most part, is tab down or hit enter like I just did, and then when you start writing, tab in, so that way it's noticeable. So in our assignment it tells us to write a couple sentences. Subject matter is whatever you want. I just want to see a couple sentences as part of the body of the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and write, my dog has fleas. That must be why I am so itchy. Alright, there's one sentence. Now, maybe I've written some more, but I'm going to definitely, in the introduction, tell the reader what I'm going to tell them. So I'm going to write, in this paper, I will discuss how not to get fleas, and then so on and so forth. So then we would tab down and start do a heading for the next topic that we're going to write about. Alright, so let's say we are all done with this part and we want to create a works cited page. Alright, so I'm just going to hit enter so that it drops the cursor down, and I'm going to go back up to insert, break. This time I'm going to select page break, and I'm just going to select OK. So look at this. Our last name and page number carried down with us, and we're happy that that's what it should be. Alright, so works cited page. I'm going to center justify. I'm going to type in work cited, and cited should be capitalized. If you want to call this works cited, you may. It really doesn't make any difference to me. I suppose if you have one reference, then it would be works cited. If you had more than one, then it would be plural, works cited. So I'm just going to kind of demo maybe an article that we got from a website. So I'm going to left justify this. Now before I go any further, we know that our references should be in hanging format. So I'm going to go to Format, Paragraph, and then up here in indentation I'm going to select hanging. So this automatically formats each entry properly. So let's say we found an article or something on a website, alright, and you had an author's name. If you don't have the author's name, you don't write it. You just start off with the name of the web page, and you do that in parentheses or something. Okay, so let's say we do have the name. We have Smith and then Scott. Let's say this is an article just on a web page. So there's the author's name, and we put a period there. And on the web page, it was actually just the title of a web page. I'm going to start off with some quotation marks, and we'll just say the name of the page was Dogs with Fleas. Alrighty, that's that. I'm going to hit the period, end of quotation. So that's the actual name of the web page, and then what we need to write in is the title of the overall web page. Maybe it is Fleas and You. So it might be www.fleasandyou.com. We do not write all the .com stuff. We just write the name, so Fleas and You. Alright, so that's done. We need to make sure that this is italicized, so it tells the reader. I'm going to go up here and hit the I and italicize it. Okay, and then we need to write the publisher or the sponsor of the site, and you can kind of look, or maybe this is from the national, or from, let's say it's from Fleas International. Alright, and we just write that. If there is no sponsoring or publisher, you would write N.P, capital N dot little p, period, and that will just say no publisher. But in this case, we happen to find one. So here's the publisher. Then I'm going to write the date of publication. So let's say we found this website, Dogs with Fleas, on the Fleas and You website, and it was published on the 3rd of March. So MAR period. Here we abbreviate months, and that was written in 2009. And what we need to do next is put a period, and then the source was electronic, so we're going to write web. If it was a book, we would write print, and so on. And then the date that I accessed this, so we'll do web period, and then I accessed this on let's say I did my paper today, so it would be 6 September, and again abbreviation 2011. And we end this with a period. So this is a proper format of our reference. One note, if we did not have a date of publishing, sometimes you'll get onto web pages, you won't find an author, leave that blank. You'll find some of this other information, but you couldn't find a date when this actual information was published. You basically put N period D period for no date. So this concludes this tutorial. I hope it has been helpful.